So this is video 2 on how to plan your day. I will warn you that some of you will love this video and some of you will hate it. I'm a planner, so I like planning my day. It makes me feel organized, it makes me feel in control and disciplined. But for some of you, you will find planning your day feels very constraining because you like to be spontaneous and react to things as you come up because that feels like you're being more efficient. But let me tell you, you aren't actually being efficient when you're spontaneous, and I'll tell you why in a second. But there are 3 key steps to creating an effective plan for your day. Number 1 is doing the mind flush, which you've already done. Number 2 is prioritizing your mind flush. And number 3 is actually scheduling what you're going to do and when, which is what we're going to talk about now. But the first thing you need to know is, why do you need to plan ahead? Do you know you have 2 parts of your brain? You have the smart part of your brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex. And that's the part of your brain that says, tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm going to eat healthily, and I'm going to work out. And then you have the other part of your brain, which is sometimes called your primitive brain, or your monkey brain, or your lizard brain. And that's the part of the brain that just wants to have fun and relax. And so if you wait until tomorrow morning to decide what you're going to do, you're going to wake up and you're going to do the easiest workout that you can, or you're going to eat the best breakfast that you can. You're not going to necessarily eat egg whites and do the hardest workout that you can. And so that's why if you have a to-do list rather than the mind flush that I'm teaching you, you're only going to have urgent things. And when you come to work through your to-do list, you're going to pick the easiest or the most fun things on that list. And the harder things or the more important things never get done. That is because your primitive brain is always going to choose the easy thing. But when you plan in advance, which is what I always encourage you to do, you are using that prefrontal cortex. And that's the part of your brain that makes the good decisions. So when you make a plan for tomorrow, you'll plan on eating a salad and doing that really difficult workout that's going to make you stronger. And you're going to plan on sorting the worst part of your garage that you've been putting off, or your basement, or maybe getting up 30 minutes earlier so that you can plan your day and have a great start to your day. That's what your prefrontal cortex will do, because it knows what you need to do to get to your goal. So always make a plan in advance so you can use that smart part of your brain rather than just making a decision in the moment, where the primitive part of your brain is always going to choose what's easy. So that's why we need to have a plan. So the next thing is, how do we create that plan? So this, again, 3 steps. You notice there's always 3 of everything when I do stuff, because my brain can't remember much more than 3. So the first thing that you need to do when you plan your day is schedule the most important things. So right now, because you're in this challenge, you need to schedule the most important things, which are those things that are going to get you to your goal. Then the next thing that you need to schedule is all the things that you can't get out of. Meetings, appointments. You could even do something like, put down something like cooking dinner, because you can't get out of it, or going out for dinner. But you schedule the most important things first, and then the second thing is schedule the things that you can't get out of. And then the third thing is to look through your mind flush, and then you schedule all of those other tasks that you need to get done. I'm going to post a video in the Facebook group, which I think really illustrates why you start off with the big thing. Some of you may have seen it. It's like a jar, and you put rocks in the jar first, and those rocks are your most important priorities. And it looks like the jar's filled with these rocks, but then you can put smaller things in between those rocks. They put like little tiny pebbles in, and then finally they fill in sand. And that's exactly how you should think about planning your day. You need to start with the big things, the big priorities that are going to get you to your goal, and then put in the smaller activities. So for example, my goal is to lose 15 pounds. And so my workouts each day are my number 1 priority. Because we're doing this challenge, my number 2 priority is making sure that I've recorded these training videos for you, and that I'm posting in Facebook, and I'm following up with you. And then my number 3 priority changes every day. It depends what's going on. Sometimes it could be something to do with my kids. Sometimes it could be something to do with my part-time job, because I have another job as well as this. And then I'll add that in as my number 3 priority. But I also have lots of other things that happen during the day: appointments, conference calls, cooking, laundry, all those kind of things. I scatter out throughout the day and plan for them. And then I also look at my mind flush that's related to hitting my goal of losing 15 pounds. And it may be that walking the dog, or pinning healthy recipes, or downloading books or podcasts that keep me motivated. I'll scatter those activities through the day as well. So for you, if your goal is to become more organized, your number one priority could be scheduling 30 minutes on a Sunday to plan out, to do your mind flush and plan out your week. Your number two priority could be scheduling 30 minutes, say from 6:30 to 7:30, or sorry, 6:30 to 7 every day, to be able to plan for tomorrow and do anything that you need to do to prep to make tomorrow a great day. And then your third priority would depend on the day. Same thing if your goal is to clean up your garage or your basement, or have some project in the house. Your number one priority could be scheduling 3 hours on a Saturday to really sort some of the garage or the basement or whatever the project is. And then your number two priority could be 30 minutes every day sorting through some of those boxes. And your number three priority could be on a Monday taking some stuff to be donated, and on a Tuesday it could be, I don't know, going to the dump and throwing a whole load of stuff away. But you see how it works. You put in your big priorities, and then you're going to schedule all the other things from your mind flush throughout the day. You will also notice that the more organized you are, the more you get done. I'm sure most of you know that you get so much done at busy periods when it's holiday time, and you're just amazed how much you can get done. That is because you work with focus. You have a plan. You know what you've got to get done. Whereas when you're kind of aimless, whatever tasks you've got expand to fill the time. The other thing that I will tell you is that balance is impossible, and you're always going to feel guilty about something. If you are focusing on work, then probably your family or your relationships suffer a little bit. But then if you're focusing on family, then you have less time to spend on work. But the way I look at it is balance happens over a long time period. There's some weeks where you're focused on work. There's some time periods where you're focused on family. There's sometimes where you're focused on health. But overall, when you look back at a month or at a couple of months, were you overall, did you maintain your health? Did you maintain good relationships and take care of your family? And did you do what you needed to get done at work? If so, then you're being successful. So the only thing that I don't actually teach you is where you should schedule your day. I tell you, you need to schedule the big things, and then you need to schedule the things you can't get out of those meetings, and then you need to scatter in the things from your mind flush. But where you write that down and where you actually plan your day is up to you. I am someone who likes to write things down. So I have a notebook, and I do my mind flush in my notebook every Sunday. And then I plan each day in a planner. I'm going to attach a couple of just Excel spreadsheets that you can either print out or you can type into if you want some kind of daily planner. One is hour by hour. One is just kind of time blocking. But ultimately, you can write your plan in your notes section on your phone. Or if you really hate this idea and you're really struggling with planning your time, I'll tell you what I do with some of my corporate clients who refuse to plan. Instead of doing the mind flush on a Sunday, write down 10 things you want to achieve this week. And then buy yourself a stack of Post-it notes. And every evening before you go to bed, write down on that Post-it note 3 things you want to achieve tomorrow and the time that you are going to complete those 3 things. And then take that Post-it note with you, stick it on your desk, stick it wherever you are, and when that time comes, get that action done. And then next week, choose 15 things that you want to get done, and on your Post-it note, write the 3 important things and maybe 2 or 3 other things that you'd like to get done during the day. Planning is not difficult, but when you plan your day in advance, you use your prefrontal cortex, you make good decisions, and you make those decisions that are going to get you to your goal. So see me in the next video, and I will tell you some tips about how you can maximize your time each day when you're making that schedule.